Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. We're going to get started. Sorry for the couple minute delay. They had to figure out a couple things on Zoom. Um, Welcome in to Let's Talk Money. I'm your host tonight. My name is Rodney Langford. Normally my co-host is Luther Harris, but tonight he's going to be our guest speaker. And before we get started, if everybody could, if this is your first time on here, we have a chat. We may be asking some questions as we go through tonight. Just participate in there. If you have questions, put them in there. It'd be great for us. A little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Rodney Langford. My wife Alita and I, we are professional network marketers. We work with a company called Plexus Worldwide. That's who we're going to talk about tonight. And that's what Luther's going to share with you tonight. We are a gut health company, and we'll talk about the products. Luther will talk about the products. But if you've been invited on here, if someone thought enough of you to invite you to this link, they thought enough of you that you would be interested in this opportunity. We're certainly excited about it, and we're just normal guys. Neither one of us are professional speakers. We have very different backgrounds, but we have one thing in common. We're super excited about Plexus, about the products that we use, about the changes they made in our life, and about the opportunity and the changes for our family that they have made. My wife Alita and I, we're diamond emeralds with Plexus, which means we really love Plexus. That just denotes a certain level that we've hit. Is no different than real estate or insurance or anything like that. It's just a level. You'll hear some of those ranks thrown around tonight as we explain the opportunity. Real quick, before I turn it over to Luther, a little bit about Plexus. Plexus is actually celebrating its 16th birthday this year. Is founded in 2008. We are what we call the OG gang. You said gangster. It's the old, original gangster last week. The OG Gut Health Company. What does that mean? It means we have a lot of products that help you get healthy. Our anchor product that you'll hear Luther talk about tonight is this right here. It's what we call our triplex. It's a 3-product system. It's made up of 3 products: so the BioCleanse, ProBio 5, and our microbiome. Which what those do is they help get your gut healthy. They help you go to the bathroom. They regulate your blood sugar. They just help you in overall energy, overall weight loss. I didn't realize how unhealthy I was until I started taking the products. I won't go into my story tonight, but I could line up testimony after testimony after testimony of how well these products work. We truly believe in them. If nothing else, the opportunity isn't the right fit for you, hey, that's just fine. But I highly recommend getting back with the person who invited you on this call and at least trying the products. Everything that we have, we market, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose. I just say trial, give them the full 60-day trial, and I just haven't met many people who ever wanted to send them back after 60 days. And then let's see, make sure everybody's muted here. And sorry about that. And before I get too long-winded here, I want to introduce our host tonight, our guest host, guest speaker tonight. I can't talk. He and I have gotten to know each other over the past 6 to 8 months. We met at a thing called Gold School down in Austin, Texas. I would say it was pretty unlikely that we would ever just kind of, strike up a friendship, but we did. He lives down in Georgia. I'm up in Tennessee. We started talking, and we just, we're very excited about what we're doing. And the one thing that I noticed about him was just the excitement and enthusiasm he has for what he does. He's an amazing man. I know my life's better for knowing him. He and his wife, Joya, they're absolutely skyrocketing in this business. He's been, he's spoken at the last 2 leaders. That's an event where kind of the up and coming folks in Plexus get to come up and speak. He's a new Ruby, which is it's a level in Plexus. It means you're kicking butt is what it means. And I just don't know if you're going to listen to him tonight and not be excited about what he's going to share. I won't take much more of his time, but Luther Harris, if you wouldn't mind, sir, if you could take over and share with the folks.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, y'all. First of all, like Rodney said, excited to be here tonight. I am so it's funny. We do these calls every week, and I was trying to figure out, I'm like, how, like, what do I share tonight to get the people pumped up, right? And honestly, like, I don't have anything special. What I do have for you guys is what the blessing that has been bestowed upon me, which is a new life and new health that I didn't know before starting these products. So just a little bit about my story. I have been an athlete, band nerd since my youth. I have always been into fitness. I've always worked out. I've always done all the thing. Like the marching band that I was in was a high step in, high energy marching band. I was the drum major in marching band in high school and in college. I did all the things. I played baseball. I played soccer. I played football growing up. Like I did all the things, right? So I've always been into fitness. What I didn't always have was good eating habits, and so because of that, I've had stomach issues since I was young. I had a colonoscopy endoscopy done when I was 21 years old. Got diagnosed with GERD, which is essentially the gastroenterologist saying, we don't know what's wrong. You got acid reflux. That's essentially what that is. And they tried to give me Nexium and omeprazole to try to combat the effects of the GERD, the acid reflux that I was having that was causing some other issues, gas, bloating, a bunch of like different like nasty things. And I dealt with that for a lot of my youth into adulthood. And honestly, I've always been fit, like I said earlier, but I haven't always been healthy. And I didn't know that there was a difference. I thought that being fit equaled being healthy, right? And I think a lot of us have that picture in our head, but there is a difference between being fit and being healthy. So what I want you guys to do in the chat tonight is I want you to put a one in the chat if you feel like you've had a point in your life, or it may be right now, where you feel like you've been doing all the right things, but there's just something missing, right? Like you've been doing all the right things. Either you're working out, or you're trying to eat healthy, or like you're doing all the things, but like it's just not like something's missing. It's just not working right. Right? Maybe you started this new diet plan, but you lost some weight, but then it came right back. Or maybe like just drop a one in the chat if you've experienced that. Okay. I want you to drop a two in the chat if you were like me, right? And you were doing all the right things and it wasn't working, and you just got like you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like that was me. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of having gas. I was tired of having bloating. I was tired of feeling sick. I was tired of being doubled over and having to run to the bathroom. Like I was tired of all of those things, but I was doing all of the right stuff. That was me. And so fast forward several years, I am now married. We're getting ready to have our first kid. We get our first introduction to Plexus, and I blow it, right? Like I'm young, I'm healthy, I don't need gut health. What is gut health? Like, I didn't know, but see, that was my ignorance. I didn't know anything about gut health, and I was not considering the fact that I had all these issues over the years. What I saw was, I don't want to spend money on that. I'm gonna blow it over here, right? That's really what it was, right? It was my arrogance, it was my ignorance, and so the first introduction, I blew it. Fast forward a couple years, now all of my favorite foods are bothering me. Chicken wings are bothering me, which I wasn't eating a lot, but was bothering me. Burgers bothering me. Chicken, like just even grilled chicken bothering me. I was lactose intolerant. Every time I ate, did not matter what I ate, I would belch very loudly. My wife hated it. Like she hated it. She would ask me, why are you doing that? And I'm like, babe, you married this, you are stuck with it. I'm sorry. Right. Like, that was my answer. Like I eat, I belch, I feel better. That's all I know. That's how it had been for years. And so I didn't realize that wasn't normal, right? Like because it was normal for me. That had been my normal for most of my life. And so I had in my head decided that this was just it. I was always going to be a gassy, bloated, belchy dude, right? That every now and then, like if I ate the wrong thing and it hit me the wrong way, I was taking off, right? Like that, like that's where I was in my life, y'all. And so I was going into the gym because I was doing all the right things, right? I was doing all the right things. And so I was going into the gym, but I was having a really bad stomach day. And a friend of mine, Natalie, she looked at me and she said, "Hey, have you ever tried Plexus?" And I said, "Yeah, actually I did before, but like I didn't really. I just did it so I could try to win the contest that we had at the gym. And when I did it, the products did what they were supposed to do. I lost weight. I lost body fat. I really didn't lose weight, but I lost body fat. I got slim. I got trim. I got down to like 10% body fat. I was like killing it. I was like, okay, yeah, like this, I feel good. And then I stopped. See how not smart we can be sometimes. But anyway, so I had tried it before and it just, I just didn't pay attention to it. And so this time, because I was more focused on, and yes, we had our first kid, we had our first child. And I that kid like kids change perspective, right? Like having kids changes your perspective. I want to be as healthy as I physically can for my wife and for my children. That is at the core of me. I do not want to put myself in a situation where I am unhealthy and I cannot be present for my wife and for my children. They are why I do this. My family history isn't great. We have a history of diabetes. We have a history of high blood pressure. We have a history of high cholesterol. We have a history of high, you name it, we got it in my family. Okay. Like my family history is just not great, y'all. And so I like having kids, like I really just started to see, I'm like, okay, I got to get in front of this. I got to get in front of this. So I started doing, I was going to the doctor once a year for my physical, right? Like trying to do all the right things. And all of my normal numbers were fine, but I still had this stuff going on. And I was starting to lose energy and like all of these things. And enters Plexus. Thanks to Natalie for reminding me that Plexus existed. And so I started Plexus and within 2 weeks, my acid reflux subsided. The gas was starting to go away. Within a month, it was all gone. It was all gone. No more belching. My wife is like, "Oh, okay, I see you." I wasn't having those stomach episodes anymore. I wasn't having the low bladder cramps anymore. I wasn't having any of that stuff anymore, and I was starting to have more energy, and I was starting to sleep better, and like all of these things. And I was like, okay, like I'm gonna keep doing this. Like this is really awesome. This is really awesome. So my wife really started to notice. I'm thinking like maybe it's in my head, but my wife started to notice. She started to ask questions. She was like, "I'm noticing that you aren't burping anymore. I'm noticing that like you don't have gas like you used to. Like, do you think like these products are really are it?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, like they're working for me. And at this point, she's 8 months pregnant with our second kid, and she's like having acid reflux and all of the things that because babies get in there and they're doing twists and turns and they having fun. And if you knew my son, you knew how much twisting and turning he was doing. And she was like, "Do you think I could try these products?" And I was like, "You know what, girl? It's just plants. I don't see why not." And so she started the products at 8 months pregnant and completely changed her pregnancy. Her acid reflux subsided as she got closer. Like she worked out to 38 weeks, like in the gym, getting after it all the way to 38 weeks pregnant, and probably would have kept going if she didn't have a C-section the next week. Okay, and then we got in the hospital, and this was like the light bulb moment for us. We got in the hospital, and she had her C-section. Everything was good, and Noah's eating and he's feeding well and like all of these things. And after a C-section, we got ladies on the call. So after the C-section, they put everything back and you got a couple of like check marks. You gotta, pass gas and you gotta do some other, the things that I gotta make sure things moving back in the right spot. And she started to get uncomfortable. So about 4 hours after her C-section, she started to feel a little bit of gas and all those things. And I brought the Triplex with me because we were gonna be in the hospital for a couple of days, right? And I'm not stopping. And I was like, hey, just take the triplex. And she was like, you think so? And I was like, yeah, girl, just take the triplex. So she did her slam, she took her bio cleanse, and within the hour, it was like clockwork. And she was like, well, gotta go. And we were like, yes. So then it helped with her recovery. Honestly, 3 weeks at post C-section, like she was like, I could go work out now. 4 weeks, she was like, okay, I have to itch. She went back 6 week mark when after her doctor's report, she went back. See, like no issues, zero issues. She was feeling good. She had her energy up. Our son was feeling well in the hospital. He was a peeing, pooping machine, right? Like all of the things were happening because he was getting triplex through her. And so, the products changed our lives. It changed our health. But we knew if both of us were going to be doing this, we were looking at me being the full-time provider, my wife dropping back into like a part-time role. We knew that the budget was going to be tight. We knew that things were gonna get real tight real fast. And so we started sharing. And y'all, the sharing has really changed a lot for us. So with this opportunity, I have to think about my why all the time. And I've already told y'all a big part of my why. My why is my family, my wife, my kids. My dad is on the products and was on metformin, and now he's off. My sister is on the product. She's down 20 something pounds and is starting to get off of her metformin. My mom is on the products, and like their lives are changing. I have cousins whose lives are changing because of these products. So, and my kids' lives are changing because of these products. My son does the kids microbiome, and my daughter will legit ask for her sweet tea slim. And so we're like having and she's 3, she's like, can I have my pink drink today, please? And she only gets half, but like she gets the pink drink. And so my entire family does it. My daughter had a battle with strep, just reoccurring strep, and our chiropractor told us, you fix her gut, you fix her strep. And we start giving her the pink drink and a little bit of probio, and the recurring strep stopped. I mean, they were talking about sending her to surgery, right? Like the last thing this dad wants is to see my baby under the knife at 3 for some tonsils because we can't get it right, right? Like that's just not like whatever I got to do to avoid that, I'm doing that, right? And so my family is a big part of my why. My faith, right? My faith is a big part of my why because I understand that in order for me to show up the way that God has called me to show up, I got to feel good. Right? Like no one wants to look at I don't have any energy. I'm tired, but praise God. Right? Like no, like that's not attractive to anybody. Right? And so but because of these products and because of the energy that it gives me, and because I'm not dealing with gas and I'm not dealing with bloating, I can show up better at church. And I do student ministry, and I preach to our students, and I can be both a spiritual and a physical example for them. I've always had a heart to serve and encourage others, and this opportunity has given me the ability to not just pour into people from a faith standpoint or health standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint. And so I want you to put a 1 in the chat if an extra $300 could help you out a month, just like an extra $300. Right. I know it could have helped us, right? Maybe it's an extra $500. Maybe it's one, maybe it's an extra $1,000, right? Like whatever it may be, that like this opportunity can provide margin for you to do the things, or to I know people who was like, man, we were gonna fall short this month and Plexus paid our car note. We were gonna fall short this month and Plexus paid our grocery bill. Right? For me, I have a brother that lives in Vegas. My brother has been in Vegas. His daughter is now 5 or 6. They've been out there that long. I've never been able to see my brother. Right? He came to town one time. Again, I've told y'all how important family to me is. My brother and I are 19 months apart. I love my brother, right? He has two daughters, the second of which I've never met, right? Like that's hard for me because I love my family, right? Because of this opportunity, because of Plexus, right? I get to not just fly myself, I get to fly my wife, I get to fly both my kids and my mom and my dad this summer to see my brother and for us all to be together. Like that's huge. That's huge. Like my wife and I hadn't been on a vacation together since 2019, right? Like we hadn't been together, just us, on a vacation since 2019, and we've already been on 2 trips paid for by this amazing company, right? Like that's huge. That's life-giving stuff. The opportunity to be able to get away and reconnect with your spouse, right? And not have to worry about, oh, well, we got to put it on the credit card. Like, come on, y'all. Like that's life changing and life giving stuff. And so for me, it's about not just making a living, but making a difference. Okay. And that's what I want you to think about tonight, right? This opportunity will give you, like I living paycheck to paycheck, been there, right? Still working through that, still getting through that, right? But having a vessel or a vehicle so that you can not just make a living, but you can make a difference, you can make an impact, you can give in abundance, you can and not worry about it. You can do things for other people and not worry about it. You can travel with your family and make memories with your family and not worry about it. Like that is the stuff that like it drives me. The other thing is to watch other people, because you have you have the heart to share and to serve them, listening to your friends go, oh my gosh, I haven't had this much energy, or oh my gosh, this thing is regulating for me, or oh my gosh, I had a buddy who he came to me desperate. He was like, man, my doctor has put me on metformin, I need to lose 20 pounds and I gotta get off these meds. And it happened within a year, y'all. Within a year. That is what's exciting this about what we do, because we're not just giving people, like, and nothing against, in any of the other products that are out there, but like we're not selling people candles, right? Like we're not selling people oils, and I know all of those things help and all of those things are great and all of those things are fine, but like we're giving people a chance at life again. There are people on this call whose lives have been drastically changed because of these products, right? I used to be a teacher, man, and it was a day in, day out grind, and I came home every day and I was tired and I was weary and I didn't know what to do. I wish I had Plexus then. I wish I had Plexus then, because I would have showed up better for my students. I would have showed up better for my colleagues, right? Like y'all, like these products and this opportunity can be whatever you make it to be. And it has the ability to take you from where you are to where you want to be, right? John Maxwell talks about the law of the rubber band. There should always be a tension between where we are and where we want to be. And that tension is called growth. And this opportunity and these products have given me the opportunity to grow in ways that I never thought I could. My wife has been able to grow in ways that she never thought she could. We've been able to grow together in ways that we never thought we could. We've always wanted to do a business together, always. And we never, for one second, we never thought it would be this. Right. My wife will tell you, and one day I'm gonna have her tell y'all her story. She said, I will take these products, I will never sell them. She told me that straight up. She was like, nope, not it. My wife is an introvert. She wants no part of it. Okay. She wanted no part of it. Now she posts on social media every day. Every day. She posts about family, about Plexus, like every day, because she understands what the products have done for her. She lost 30 pounds of baby weight. She's back to her normal self. She's ready to go. And she gets so much joy out of helping her friends who have struggled and all these things come to find relief from issues that they've suffered with for years, y'all. Like that, like every testimony that we get from a friend about how their life is changing is life-giving, right? And if you are a person that has a heart to serve and to love on people, this opportunity is for you, right? And like Rodney said, if you aren't into the business side of it, but you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and maybe you need to lose a little bit of weight, maybe you just want to feel better. These products are for you, right? Like we have both sides. You can do either one. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But what we want for you first is to try these products and see, like Rodney said, we have a 60-day money back guarantee. There is absolutely no reason not to try it. If you try it and you don't like it, get your money back, boo boo. That's fine. Not like nobody's stopping you. But I'm telling you, also like Rodney said, doesn't happen a lot. Doesn't happen a lot. I've rarely seen it. I've rarely seen it. You know why? Because the products are good. They're all natural. They're non-GMO. They're clean, and they do what your body needs them to do. Again, this is not a weight loss supplement. This is a supplement for your overall health. The triplex that Rodney talked about is prebiotics, probiotics, and magnesium with digestive enzymes. It gets your body right. Okay, my body fat used to fluctuate up and down, and I have seasons where I was real low, and I have seasons where I've been. Ever since I started Plexus, it went here and it stayed. I've been able to stay consistent, and I desire healthier options. Right? I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink soda. I don't crave it. I don't eat a lot of sweets. Every now and then I'll have a little taste of something. That's it. I used to be the corner piece of cake guy. Like y'all know that guy with all the icing. You know what I mean? That was me. Right. And don't give me like no sliver of the corner cake. Like I want the like square, like the whole corner, like 3 inches on all sides. Like that was me. And I eat the whole thing, y'all. And I pay for it later. And that's fine. I didn't even tell y'all this part. I used to be lactose intolerant to the point where if I ate a spoonful of ice cream, it'd be curtains rest of the day. Okay. Since starting Plexus, like we went on an ice cream date the other night. Like, and I get to partake. I get to eat ice cream with my family. That was not something that was even in the cards a couple years ago. It wasn't even possible. I'd be like, y'all got any Italian ice? That used to be me. Y'all got Italian? Y'all got any sherbet in there? Anything dairy free? That used to be me. But now I get to partake. Y'all, that we have a homemade ice cream stand in downtown Beaufort. They have it's called Coconut Delight, but it's essentially snickerdoodles, not snickerdoodles, Samoas. They crunch up Samoas and honey vanilla ice cream. Y'all, it's delicious. Okay, I get me one scoop. I take my one scoop and I'm good for a while. But that one scoop is like, woo, I love that I get to have it. Right? I couldn't have done that before Plexus. I couldn't have done that 2 years ago. Matter of fact, I tried and I almost ruined my friend's house. Okay? Like I'm telling y'all, these products work. The business works. This community, Rodney and I, like he said, we met in Austin, Texas, of all places. Okay? And now we partner together every week. Like this is my brother. Like Michael's on here is my brother. Ian's on here is my brother. I got several sisters on here. I see y'all. I appreciate y'all. Okay. Like there are people here and all throughout this company. I have an amazing team of people who we get to love on and pour into each other. Right? Like I have people from all over the country, Missouri, California. Like I've met people from everywhere. And it's one Plexus. We all just want to see each other thrive. And so that is all I have for you guys tonight. If you have any questions, please reach out. Right? Like if you say, hey, you didn't answer enough about what the products do and what they are, call me. Right? We can have a conversation. I would love to. or call the person that invited you. They would love to have a conversation with you because they know what these products can do for you. Okay. And I'm turning it back over to my brother Rodney.
Luther, my man, my friend, I hadn't laughed that hard in a while. I'm gonna get a t-shirt that says, y'all got any sherbet? Y'all got any sherbet in there? Yes. So I don't know if you've never tried Plexus products, I don't know what more we can say. I don't know how much more conviction or testimony. They work. All right, they work. There is a whole other side of this. We have an opportunity where you can actually not have to pay for your products. That's one of the biggest questions I would ask when you get back with a person who invites you. Hey, I want to try the products. How can I get them paid for? And they'll put you on the path to getting them paid for. Like Luther mentioned, we do this call every week. Next week, we're going to have a different focus. This week was more about the products, product testimony. Next week, we're doing a deep dive into how we actually make money. It's going to be, about a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation, slide by slide. Plexus pays us very well. I mentioned at the start of the call, my wife and I, we're a Diamond Emerald household. We have 9 kids. We make a very strong 6-figure income. I'm not talking about like we make $150,000. We make a strong 6-figure, bumping up against 7-figure income. And we do it through Plexus. That's what we do. We're professional Plexus folks. And we get paid a lot of different ways through this opportunity. It's a entrepreneur's dream. So if you've ever had the drive to start a business, you want to do your own thing, but if you were like me, you grew up poor, you didn't have the resources, you didn't have the connections, you don't know a lot about business, those questions will be answered next week. We'll show you how we make the money, how this opportunity works. So my advice is get back with the person who invited you, get you some products ordered, come back next week, and we're going to teach you how we make money with this thing and how we make a lot of money. And you can make a lot of money if you're coachable and you're willing to work. So, Luther, thank you so much for sharing tonight, man. I had a great time. I hope everybody else on here did too. And like I said, get back with the person who invited you. We'll see you next week.